Okay, let's now set up our backgrounds in a way that's going to follow the action that's happening on the screen. And more accurately, this will follow a camera position that is going to be attached to a scene. So let's go into backgrounds. Now we can't use mountain 1, 2, and 3 because these are already set up to automatically scroll. So let's create a new background just as we did before. And we can call these all sunrise and a number, sunrise 1. Click here to add frame, choose image, double click on sunrise 1 if you've downloaded the images that I've provided to you. Click on add. Let's go back to the dashboard. Click here to create image. We'll call this sunrise 2. Click here to add a frame, choose image, double click on sunrise 2, click on add. And remember, at any time, if you feel like I'm going a little too fast, just pause the video. We'll call this sunrise 3. Click here to add frame, choose image, double click sunrise 3, and add. Okay, now let's go back to sunrise 1 so we can do these in order. We're going to repeat the background again. This time we're going to leave horizontal scroll speed and vertical scroll speed at 0. And we will change the parallax scrolling values. So for the backmost image, we're going to put this at 0.1. And let's go to sunrise 2. Repeat background. And the horizontal parallax factor for this one, let's set that to 0.2. It's going to move a little bit faster as it gets closer to the action. And sunrise 3, that's the closest tree line. Let's repeat the background and we'll set this at 0.6. Okay, let's go ahead and save the game. And let's set up a scene. So let's go into scenes, click here to create a new scene. Let's just call this 2. Now our width, we want this a little bit wider than we normally set this to. That way we can see the parallax scrolling in action. So let's set the width to 80. And let's set our height to 20. And our tile width will be 16. Tile height 16. And our color needs to be a solid color that matches with the oranges of the sunrise mountains in the tree line. And click create. Alright, so here we go. And we can add the backgrounds by clicking plus, new background layer, double click sunrise 1, and there you go. And just repeat this 2 times, plus, new background layer, sunrise 2, plus, new background layer, sunrise 3. And now let's take this layer 0 and move it to the front because we are actually going to set up some tiles so we can see how this would look if you had a level set up, and then you can imagine a player running around on the scene. So let's go back into the dashboard, tile sets, and click here to create a tile. And we'll just call this, let's say, sunrise tile set. And the tile width is going to be 16 by 16. Leave everything else as default. Choose your image. And this time, let's go into, let's see, background. Actually, let's go into tile sets, colored tiles, final, and orange tile set. Double click on orange tile set.png and add. Okay. Now, by default, the default shape, here, let's pick a different color that shows up a little better, is only kind of going halfway to the top. So we can select everything and select the square. And let's save the game again. When that's done, go back to scene 2. Make sure you're on layer 0. And let's draw out a level here. And while we're doing this, I can show you the rectangle tool, how to lay this out with a rectangle. So let's choose all 3 of these. Okay, just click and drag and select these 3 tiles. Go to your rectangle tool, and let's start laying these out here. Okay, and you can just lay these out like that. So just whatever your preference is, just kind of lay these out. So let's go here. Okay. Now in order to kind of see a better sense of movement, I'm going to go ahead and every once in a while I'll set up, let's say, some pillars here. So let's say every 4 or 5 or so. Maybe this will be a little bit taller. Again, a little taller here. Set up some shorter pillars. And let's grab this entire block and lay that out. Okay, how about that? It's kind of cool. And again, lay this out however you like, just have fun with it. And you can already see as we scroll that the parallax scrolling is working. Now, the window size, you can go up here and click on Show Screen Bounds, and it will kind of block out the size that will actually be showing to the player. So we can take the scroll bar and just start scrolling across, and you can get an idea already that this is working great. And this is exactly the effect that we're looking for. Now let's create a little bit of code in the scene to have this working in a tested game. So let's go to Dashboard, Scene Behaviors, and we'll create a new scene behavior. We can call this Camera Controller. And when the camera controller is first created, we just want to set this position up. So let's set up the position to, so let's go to Scenes, and this is going to be in View. Okay, so we need to set up the camera center. Let's say, let's see, the width of the screen is 480, so let's go 240. That's right in the center. On the X and Y it's 320, so let's go to 160. Okay, and then when updating, so basically always, let's set up an if statement. Okay, so if, let's go into user input, and by default left and right, up and down, and a few others are already set up. So let's go ahead and click left. Okay, so if left is down, let's set up some attributes. Okay, so let's create an attribute for the X position. Okay, and this is going to be a number, and we'll just call this cam X, and we can hide this. And let's create another attribute that is a number called cam Y. We can hide that as well. And when these start out, let's set up the attributes for cam X to go ahead and be at that default position of 240, and cam Y at the default position of 160. Okay. So in that way, actually here in created, we can go to cam X and cam Y. That way, if we ever want to change it in the future, it's a variable and a lot easier to deal with. It just makes it more flexible. Get used to doing that. And let's go into numbers and text. So when left is down, okay, we want to decrement cam X by, let's just say by 1 for now. Okay. And otherwise, if, and I'll just hold down Alt and copy this block, choose control, right, click OK. Okay, otherwise, if right is down, I'll copy this as well, we want to increment CamX by 1. Okay. And always, let's use our search here. Always, we want to move the camera center to the X position and the Y position. Okay, so go ahead and take a look at that. Kind of try to understand how this is working. And remember, we need to attach this to the scene where it's going to be used. So we're going to attach this to scene 2. All right. And that should be it. We can test this out. So let's test the scene and see if this works. If not, as I've said before, it's programming, so we can go ahead and troubleshoot this if it doesn't work. So let me hit my right arrow key. Okay, it looks like it is working though. Awesome. So we've compiled the game with parallax scrolling. And let's go the other way just to make sure. Great. All right, everything looks good. Now I want to show you a third way to do this, and we'll do that in the next video.